Right, so I guess this is part 3 of the MR2 MIS MR2 spyder, whatever you want to call it. I like to call it Crazy Frog for many reasons, but however, yeah, Crazy Frog MR2 K24 turbo engine swap, or just generally engine swap, because I had many of these engines in my mind and I couldn't make my mind, and I've changed my mind countless times and blah blah blah, and at the end I actually made my mind and fitted this K24, which you've seen on your own how easily it fits. The lenses is right, I guess. How easy it fits. Engine mounts, they were not great, to be honest. I wasn't completely satisfied with them, but again, it made my job much easier because, you know, I had the initial idea with 1.9 TDI put in, which was great. Then I had the idea of fitting the JTD, JDM, JMDM, well, the Alfa Romeo 1.9, which is great because it produces tons of power, blah blah. But that was quite difficult to even fit in the chassis because it's quite wide between the engine and the gearbox. Engine mounts, they were completely in a different position. However, yes, you could do something about it. You can use a different engine mounts and gearbox brackets from a different cars that will allow me to do this swap easily, but it was just too much hassle, you know, because there is probably not much space for that engine to, because it has a high pressure pump on the side of the head and probably wouldn't fit. I didn't test it, but probably wouldn't. If it did, it would be like extremely tight, difficult to work on, and it was like probably not worth it. So that was crap. So I've decided K24, all went straight. The last video you've seen me, it was like exciting. It was like I got the turbo, I got the gates for it, I got the exhaust manifolds, I've ordered all the beads, I got the engine loom and the mobilizer unit and all that stuff. And so basically it was just good, you know, no surprises, very nice, easy fitment. So what I did, I fitted a 1.9 TDI. I know, bit of surprise, right? Okay, that's the K24, I removed it. All right, let me get back to yesterday. Jesus Christ, sorry. Yesterday, I was working on the Econo line because I'm back on this 100% full time. I got the flanges now, so I'm start making exhaust manifold. And in afternoon, Steve was here doing his head gasket on the Volvo. This is one of his spare heads, another 2 of them. And my usual was like, yeah, the engine is in there and everything is good. I got the square, I corrected a couple of issues with the engine mounts. I'm happy with this, I'm excited about it, but it's this little thing. And he was like, oh, there you go, not again. It's like, yeah, I know, I don't want to say it, but I spent some time and I was going through the accounts and all the stuff, calculating how much I have to spend on this engine yet and all the stuff. And I was like, do you know what? Before I finish with this, it's gonna be another on the top what I spent already, about 5 grand. And that's before probably mapping and possible any issues. And that was before the methanol injection. So I'm probably sure it's gonna be more than that. And it's gonna take a long time because I have to wait for a lot of bits to arrive and fabricating and a fuel system and this and that. And I was like, you know what, to be honest, I know this is right, I know this should be done, I don't know, I wasn't convinced. I just want the car back, I just want it back on the road. And I always felt great about the 1.9 because the amount of the abuse they take, you know, it's so easy and it's so cheap, and it's like cheap replacement. They're just great, you know. And I know they produce half the power. However, the half the power of the 1.9 doesn't feel like half the power of the K24 because they have tons of torque. So it feels different. You can't even do the comparison. So I'm talking bollocks. So Steve was like, you know what? How long is it gonna take you to remove this engine from the chassis, the K24, this one here? Now it was like probably 15 minutes. All right. how long it's gonna take you to just try to fit the 1.9, because I had this engine, this one here, with the gearbox and everything complete. I think I showed you that in one of the videos. If I didn't, then yes, I actually have 3 of them. But this one was all complete for the Volkswagen Bora, the 150 brake, the most powerful, the strongest one, blah blah blah. And it was like, I don't know, not long. It was like, and that was 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I was like, you know what, just test it, just try it, because he likes the idea of the 1.9 TDI anyway, better than the K24 for some reason. He says because K24 has been done already, blah blah, and this hasn't been done, it gets him excited again. To be honest, I think he said that because he just had enough of me moaning about which engine is better, which should I use, blah blah blah. So and so yeah, I did. And it didn't take me 15 minutes to remove this engine from the chassis, because what I do, I just drive this table under the car, obviously when it's lifted, remove the engine mounts and leave the car from the engine. It took me 10 minutes, not 15. Then I dragged this engine from behind the CV. Under the stairs I got a few engines over there. I dragged them over here, remove the drive shaft, remove a couple of pipes, some stuff that I just wanted to clear the engine around, just nice and clean, nothing around, nothing that can compromise whatever. And I actually removed that oil filter housing because I was convinced it wouldn't fit. Sorry. I was convinced it wouldn't fit, but I got a solution for it. I was like, you know what, this engine probably wouldn't fit, it's gonna be ages to put the engine mounts and all that stuff. It was, oh, just shut up and try it and test it and do it and see how it goes. So I did. I put it in, and guess what? This is mega easy. We started talking about yesterday, 5:00 in the afternoon. Later on that night, again, probably 40 minutes after this engine was already in this chassis. Today is the day after. I spent half a day probably, maybe, well, let's call it all day because I've really done it nicely and well, not nicely fabrication, but I just wanted to make sure everything fits properly. And I'll show you, it fits beautifully. This is the gearbox side mount. Look at it. I know it's a bit ugly, I know it's very ugly go-to, but it just fits perfectly. It's right in that place. Look at it. You couldn't ask for a better place or easier gearbox mount than this. On this side, again, very agricultural but very strong. Is it actually stronger than those the previous mounts? They may look better, but these are stronger. Engine is solid. Even the T-bone, the one on the bottom, yeah, that one is very ugly. This is how I've done it, very quickly. Priority is just to make it strong. It doesn't have to be nice. This is my car. I really don't care the way it looks. It has to be functional and strong. I don't care about anything else. But yeah, there you go. Very easy. It's like square section. I got some 6mm flat plates. Machine that out. Perfect. Original Toyota mounts, both sides. And oh, this is another thing, all right? So these innovative mounts, right? Engine mounts for the K24, which they cost quite a lot of money. Now this thing, this mount is actually that mount. The bottom section, this here, let me put it this way. So all of this section here, all of this is just a reproduction, a replica, identical to the original Toyota mounts, everything. The only difference is that the bush inside is like a, well, hard is a poly bush, and that's it. That's all they've done. This one, again, spot on, exactly the same as the original one. They just remade it, copied exactly the same, just with the innovative mounts, just with the poly bush, so it's harder. And if I knew this before, all you have to do is just change these mounts to the poly bush ones if you want to, but you probably don't have to, and just make mounts like this, because to this gearbox, this is what you have to do practically. This, all you have to do is one of these, which is, come on, this is very simple. And on this section, on this side, this bracket, I'm sorry, this bracket here, which goes, let me just put this down for a sec, it goes this way. Let's make sure the light off, it's gonna get blind again. this bracket, this is the mount that goes from the K24 with the EP3, no sorry, CV, I can't remember, well I think EP3 engine bracket, this to this, and that's it. And I had to put the spaces because this was actually designed in a bad way and the engine was going sideways. Well, I told you the last time. So, and that's all. It's like stupid. I paid so much money for them. If I knew it, they were just 2 brackets. Yes, there is another one. There is this one here. This one goes to the gearbox and this goes to the chassis, where check out the previous video, you cannot see it. But this is not even needed that way, to be honest. I don't care. I would just weld 2 plates like this on the top of this subframe, or maybe reinforce it, and then, you know, something in the gearbox, maybe even stronger than them. But it takes you a day, and that's it. Again, okay, I do fabrication, so this is my job. This is my job. If you don't do it, then yeah, probably it's worth buying those mounts from them. They don't fit quite well as they should, but they do fit. However, yeah, does not change the subject. What I've done with the 1.9 is exactly what I'm supposed to do with the K24. Just engine mounts, both sides, very simple, very easy. It was just incredible. And actually this engine is slightly smaller and it's slightly lighter. I weighted up and it's like 10 kilograms lighter than the K24, believe it or not. Dirty little diesel. So I'm saving weight on the back already. Everything fits actually slightly better than a Honda engine as well. The alternator has more space, is actually more up and easier to access. There's nothing behind this engine apart that oil filter housing, which is that one there. Let me show you from this side. You can see it better. This one here. Water pipes, obviously one from here has to go to here. So again, just change it, but very easy, very simple. This one I can't remember. I know these engines, but I can't remember now when this one goes. This is the matrix heater. That one then is gonna be blocked. We don't need that one. This is all, no, this is water, this is fuel. That's fuel temp sensor, I think, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, that's fuel as well. But yeah, it's very simple, very easy. Obviously I will have to play with the gearbox shifter and all that stuff, but that's it, you know. And I think it's well worth it. The starter motor is sticking out quite a lot, but it's again nothing on the way, touching nothing, all the pipes, all the lines, nothing is on the way, and it's very easy accessible. The clutch bleeder is here, again very easy accessible, even easier on the Honda one. It's just simpler to work on it, and it's just very easy to access. This is okay. I'm not gonna use this manifold in this turbo because this is, I think, from the 130 original, but just for the sake of showing you, like one hand, all right, there you go, and you fill one in from back of the car, very easy. And then you got the plenum. Again, this intake I'm not gonna use it, although I'm gonna use the initial part, and you know me, I'm gonna build my equal flow plenum from this. But again, just, you know, there you go, and it fits. That's simple. It's that easy to work on this stuff. Drive shafts, they're extremely robust, extremely big. Obviously only half of them, because the other half is gonna be you know, the Toyota ones. I'm not sure how strong they are. For now I'm just gonna make a hybrid ones. I'm gonna weld them together. One obviously that side from the Volkswagen and other side from the Toyota, and then we see how long they last. Probably not long, and then I'm gonna get a company to make them proper ones, probably in chrome moly if they can. Let me show you how it looks like under the car. Okay, so we're under the car again. Clutch sleeve, this is from the EP3. Again, I'm gonna use it. I didn't disconnect it because I don't wanna have too much oil dripping down. Again, starter motor, all clears perfectly. I was thinking to connect this engine mount as well, maybe from this and another bolt over here, but to be honest, I'm not really sure if I want to do it because it feels very solid. Yeah, again, very agricultural and very ugly but stronger. This, I think this should be enough. If it's not, I'm just gonna make another bracket and connect this one if it has to be. The only thing I had to modify, because it didn't fit properly. Well, maybe it will fit, but it will touch the chassis, and I had to move the engine back a little bit, which I didn't want it, because this is a perfect ideal position from the engine. And this is why I like to make my own engine mounts, because you find it just a perfect position for everything, you know. Make sure everything fits, make sure you can work on everything. You can remove the your alternator, you can remove your pulleys, you can remove your belt, you can just service the stuff, and you got plenty of access to everything. And most of all, your engine is nice and square in the chassis. It's not on the piece, it's not going sideways, it's just as it should be. So, you know, I'm happy. However, back to us. That is the oil filter housing, and underneath that is like a big square heat exchanger between oil and the water, which helps to warm probably the water or the oil, whatever, I don't really know, faster. But they kind of break sometimes, they're big, I don't like it, I don't think they cool the oil enough. So I say, okay, I need one of these remote oil filters kits. I don't have to remove the oil filter, but honest, it's kind of like a sandwich plate with just 2 pipes, and I want to go external oil cooler. This one here, which happens, we had it, still has some old AN10 fittings, like you can have them. Some of them is as mine, this is mine, this is my oil cooler. I know it's clean, has a thermostatic switch on it, so you can put a fan and it can work on its own. I want to put someone behind because I want to make sure this oil stays nice and healthy and obviously not overheating. And guess what, I had this for years lying upstairs, probably for, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years. I'm shitting you not. This was it was all the dust around and all the stuff. Never been used. There you go. You know, it's good. What else I can show you from underneath? This is the water pipe. It doesn't fit as nicely as an Mk3 at the first glance, but it actually does, because this bracket, this black one here, all of this is gonna go. This is not needed anymore. That bracket holds the cable for the alternator, which is here. I'm not gonna need it, although I might just move it up a little bit and still keep it. However, it's not gonna be on the way of the water pipe. I think I have to remove some brackets that hold this water pipe. I didn't try it, but I want to bend it by a couple of degrees, just a little bit more this way, because I don't want the hose to catch on this and then being broken. You can probably run like a tight 90-degree or whatever, but I just want to make everything fit nicely, so I want to move it a little bit. And the other fitment for the water is there, so it's, I don't know, it's not difficult, I just have to work it out. This one here can be blocked, I don't need it. The plate, obviously these engines, they come with in different vehicles, and you have different setups with the brackets and alternators and the power steering pumps, and then air conditioning and stuff and blah blah blah. All I did is just, this is from I can't remember what car for. I will tell you, but I'm probably gonna be wrong anyway. However, I had one chopping in half, the alternator fits on the top, the standard tensioner fits there, and you run a very short belt which only does the alternator. This is exactly the same setup. I have to get used to this slide because it's However, this is exactly the same setup I've done on the T2 conversion, that Volkswagen with 1.9 Di. Exactly the same bracket, exactly the same alternator on the tensioner, small short belt, and it works great. You know, just the alternator there, very clean. Now this, you can see this sump is sticking out a little bit too much. It's broken already. Well, I bought it with a broken sump, and it was welded on with the liquid whatever metal, and but it does sticks out a little bit too much. But don't be worried, this is not a mistake. This sump will not be sticking out more than the gearbox, because I bought the shallow sump, which is first part is aluminium and the second part on the bottom is steel, because this guy is not low. However, if you hit something with these sumps, they're very thin, they're very small, it's not gonna bend, it's gonna crack, and you lose your oil, and it's dangerous. So I always wanted to put a metal pan on it. A metal pan, you can knock it, you can bend it, you know, you can dent it, but it will not break. So I bought one of those. They're actually made for the lower cars, and they have slightly different shape. They kind of go this way, a bit more up, and it's slightly shallow. I think they save about 20 mil on them roughly, which is exactly what I want. So it's gonna be no lower than the original engine, which again, happy. We're saving quite a lot of weight on the back already, which I'm very surprised, very nicely surprised. Now, what I'm gonna do with this engine? I'm gonna build my own exhaust manifold. Flange is already here. The flange for the turbo is here. This flange is for the GTB 2260 VK turbo. Lots of people sell, couple of companies that sell kits ready to put on. You got the standard exhaust manifold and they weld the exhaust housing of the turbo to that manifold. So it works like a standard one. Let me just lower the car a little bit so I'll show you slightly better. I'm gonna have it back on the road in no time. It's like 15 years quicker than I will have it with the K24. And I know this maybe is not right, maybe it's the worst of the three engines. Maybe you can argue with that. In my eyes, I don't know, it just feels right. I finally feel okay. I have this engine in, it feels good. I can't explain why exactly, because again, if I'm thinking about K24 and way more power, it's more exciting, all that stuff. But I don't know, it's just, I'm okay with this now. I'm happy now. I don't have any doubts. I know these engines, I know what they can do, it's just great. However, yes, so this company, they say the exhaust manifold with the GTB 2260 welded on it, so it is actually closer to the block, a very compact setup, and I like it. But those turbos, they flow very good, and you can make over 300 brakes with them. And to be honest, 300 brakes with them, with a normal shitty design Logstar exhaust manifold, that's not only bad, but that's very, very not my style. So I'm gonna make my own exhaust manifold. Flange is already there, and I just bought a bit risky because that was very cheap. So I'm expecting it could be broken. Very cheap turbo from the Audi Q7, which is GTB 2260 VZK. There is a bit of difference in the Z. I don't know what. I think there's a turbo bearings they change, maybe the compressor wheel as well, tiny bit. Some argue that it's supposed slightly quicker. I can't confirm that, this could be completely bollocks. However, it was cheap, it was good, I'm going for it. I'm going to do my own vacuum operated VGT conversion, all that stuff, and do my own stuff. So the turbo system is going to be built again. I'm gonna use the intercooler and the charge cooler, so nothing's gonna change. Intercooler is here, as it will be with the K24. Diffuser is gonna be here. Downpipe, tailpipe is gonna be inside the diffuser. Nothing changed from that. It's just gonna be slightly lighter, about 10 kilograms, and that's it. Now, to us, why have I fitted this engine? Why I'm happy with this engine, and why eventually I've made my mind and I'm going with this engine here. I don't know if you can hear it outside. If you don't, can you see it? No. There's a van warming up. It's diesel. Then we have the mighty diesel 2JZ 606 in my race car. So, as someone suggested on one of my videos, this is all about diesel somehow. I don't know how it developed, how it happened, but it's just diesels everywhere. Apart Steve, obviously, he doesn't have one, but he wants one of these. So, I was like, you know what, this kind of makes sense. Plus, if you want me to explain in a reasonable way why when this engine I can't do it. I'm sorry, I can't. I don't know how to explain it. I just feel good about it. That's it. That's the whole explanation. I'm okay with this engine. I like it. And to be honest, if you're running 300 brakes with this engine, is gonna feel probably like 400 brakes from a petrol engine. But again, it is not a fair comparison. I know they just go well. The one thing I'm extremely happy with, I'm very impatient. And again, it will take me long time till I finish the whole K24 setup. And I'm gonna have the counter ramp for a long time. I know I should thought about this earlier and all that stuff, but I didn't. I did now, and I didn't like it. And as much as I was excited about K24, I was like, will I be actually using and abusing it as much as I would like to, as much as I can abuse one of these engines? I really seriously doubt it. So I'm more happy with this. Again, out of the three engines, this is the less powerful one. Less possibilities maybe, but this is the one that takes the most abuse. This is the one that is extremely reliable. I mean, people don't service these engines. They treat them very crap, and they still live very long. And you can do a lot to them. You can change the injectors. This is probably the only diesel engine that you change the injectors with your fingers. You don't have to have a pullers anywhere. I've done it before. You like remove the head cover, injectors are there under the car, you just pull them up, change them whatever you want. You can do it in situ. I don't have to remove the engine from the car to do it. I can walk on the engine with the engine in the car. I can remove the head. I can do everything I want in there. So it's just, I don't know. I'm trying to find excuses, but none of them they're right. It's just, I just like it. Plus, it may offend some people, which I don't really care, because you know me. And I think it's gonna be funny as well, you know. I don't know. I just like it. So there you go. This is the third part of the Crazy Frog engine swap. Not K24 turbo anymore. 1.9 TDI. Yes, it is gonna stay. You're not gonna have another video tomorrow showing you that I put a different engine and this stays in. This makes me smile. This makes me happy. I'm convinced this is just, it feels right to me. There you go. This is probably the best explanation I can get. It just feels right. I know it's probably wrong, but it just feels right. So she's staying, and I'm gonna have this back on the road in no time, and we're gonna see some action very soon. Above the sump, this is not the thing. Above the sump, the shallow sump, 42 quid. If you want a better sump for the K24, it's probably gonna be over 400 quid. 10 times more than money. And what else? Well, loads of stuff. ECU. If you want an ECU on this, is about 750 quid. I've just bought ECU with immobilizer deleted, remapped to 200 brakes, which they don't do 200 brakes, about 190, with a standard turbo, which I'm not gonna use, but just for the sake of argument, 65 quid. Simple. ECU loom, I don't have to buy any, well, okay, I bought everything for the K24, but in this case, I don't have to buy anything. Standard loom, or standard ECU, I can just do my own. They're simple, I know them. And many reasons. Easy to work on. Plenum is on this side. I know it's an old school design, but it's efficient, it works. It shouldn't be efficient, but they are very efficient engines, so it works. Plenum is on this side, exhaust is on this side, turbo is here, everything is here. It's just so easy. Easy, cheap, lots of fun, mega reliable, uses no fuel. I mean, I had one of these engines in my Golf back in the day, and I used to do 50, 60 miles per gallon, not being careful, like just whatever. And if you cruise, once I cruised behind an old lady, it was going slow, like 45, 50 miles an hour. And I've done about 20 miles like this, and it was doing like 75, 80 miles per gallon. People didn't believe it was true. If you cruise very slow, and they return very good MPG. I'm not saying 80, I'm not saying that, because that was one off, just to test how far I can go. And this car weighs like 2/3 of a Golf. So, you know, again, you're not doing the engine swap because you want a good MPG. But again, that's the good side to have it as well, you know, good MPG. It's just a bonus. It's a pretty good bonus as well, especially if you use it every day. So yeah, it's in. Took me 1 day, not even that, half a day. I just, you know, spend more time and just took my time and do it properly. Not beautifully, because you can see that mud over there. It's not beautiful at all, quite ugly as well. But everything is on as it should be. So happy with this. Now I have to put it on the side because today is Wednesday, it's not Saturday. I'm back on the Econoline full time. So during the week I shouldn't work on my own cars. This is my policy, so it's not as easy as you think. I don't get to work every time, anytime I want to. If I took this today, Wednesday, to work on my car, I will have to give that day back. So instead of working on my car on Saturday, I will have to work on the Econoline. And then Sunday, if my wife lets me, but I doubt it. So more progress is gonna be probably next week. I'm gonna do a couple of hours every night, but not too long. It's getting cold these days, so it's not really great to stay here till late, but I probably will anyway. I like it now, I really do. All right, see you in the part 4 when hopefully this thing is gonna fire up and I got all the bits here. Because I got the turbo, gonna have to make, well, I got all the bits coming anyway, so see you soon. And to be honest, she's another reason that I don't think the K24 turbo is the best option for the Crazy Frog daily use and abuse, to be honest, because I got a truck car, well, I got a race car. Okay, maybe it's kind of ruined with that engine in the front, I don't really know. Wait, no, isn't ruined because of the engine, isn't ruined because of the weight distribution switched to the front from the middle. So to be honest, someone pointed out, Steve actually, is like, you know what, if you like this engine, just make yourself happy, keep the car, don't sell it, and put the engine in the middle. So I got some tires, I got some slicks for testing, and we're gonna set up as soon as we can, because obviously with this Corona bullshit, everything is closed down. As soon as we can, we're gonna go for testing. If I like the engine, if I like the way it acts in this chassis, then I don't know, I may think about it, I may sell it, I got no idea. What's going on here? That's better. And it may happen. If it doesn't happen and I have to sell the car, then it will make sense to put this engine in one of those, maybe not even this chassis, maybe I get another one, they're fairly cheap. And so do I sell this engine, the whole setup, because now everything is in, I got engine mounts, well, it's pretty much ready to drop into the mr2. Yes, you still have to spend plenty of money if you go in turbo. If you go in NA, it's just a mapping station away to be running. Well, the drive shafts, there's still quite a lot of work to do, but it's nearly there. So I'm gonna keep it. Actually, my missus says don't sell it, keep it, build it over the time with no stress, and then we decide what we're gonna do with it. Maybe you change it as you do, maybe just get another one, maybe you do something with it. You're still in time to sell it, so keep it for now, build it up, and then we see. But yes, so I think that's the best decision. I mean, this morning it came to me very clear. Truck car, daily abuse. Daily abuse, 1.9 TDI. Cannot ask for any better. Light, powerful, lots of torque, reliable. So yeah, I think that's a good decision. I think. Until I change my mind again.